The following is a selected video from videomathteacher.com, where you can explore over 10,000 videos, print out practice worksheets, find proofs and discussions on many math topics, and explore related videos. Try videomathteacher.com today. Let's verify the identity of 1 plus sine of x over cosine of x equals cosine of x over 1 minus sine of x. To verify an identity, we'll manipulate one side of this identity until we arrive at the other side. Since we have 1 plus sine of x over cosine of x, we'll choose to multiply our left side by the conjugate of the numerator. Recall that the conjugate of an expression, such as 1 plus sine of x, will be the same expression but opposite middle sign. So we'll multiply by 1 minus sine of x. Since we're multiplying the numerator by 1 minus sine of x, we'll also multiply the denominator also by 1 minus sine of x. We'll write down our entire identity again. So we'll write down our numerator, which will become 1 minus sine of x multiplied by 1 plus sine of x, all over. The denominator we'll simply write as 1 minus sine of x multiplied by cosine of x. Our right side didn't change, and to verify our identity, each and every stage we'll continually write our right side again. So the right side will still be cosine of x over 1 minus sine of x. Simplifying our left side, we see that the numerator has two expressions that we can multiply using FOIL. So expanding the numerator only. Using FOIL, our first term would be 1 times 1, which is 1. Our outer term will be 1 times sine of x, which will become 1 times sine of x is sine of x. Our inner term will be minus sine x times 1, which is minus sine of x. And our last term will be minus sine of x times another sine of x, we'll write as minus sine squared of x. Our denominator we'll leave alone as 1 minus sine of x times cosine of x, and this is still equal to our right side of cosine of x over 1 minus sine of x. Simplifying our left side, in the numerator we see positive sine x minus sine of x, which are two terms that will cancel out. We're left with 1 minus sine squared of x over the quantity of 1 minus sine of x times cosine of x. And this is still equal to cosine of x over 1 minus sine of x. To further simplify, we recall that 1 minus sine squared itself is an identity that's the same as cosine squared of x. So we'll replace 1 minus sine squared with cosine squared of x. The left side becomes cosine squared of x over 1 minus sine of x times cosine of x. And on the right side, we have cosine of x over 1 minus sine of x. We now see on our left side that cosine squared means that we have two factors of cosine x. So we'll write here that we have cosine of x times another cosine of x. One of these factors will cancel with a factor in the denominator. So the left side will have a single factor of cosine in the numerator, cosine of x, over 1 minus sine of x. On our right side, we have the exact same expression, which was the goal of verifying our identity. So by showing that the left side does become the right side, this identity is a true identity. And that means for any angle x, that this would be a true statement, that 1 plus sine of x over cosine of x must be the same as cosine of x over 1 minus sine of x. So this completes our verification of this identity.